2011, roughly half of all bachelor's degree holders were jobless or underemployed. That's the highest number in over a decade. Fox 31 Denver's Nick Emmons has more on why college grads are failing when it comes to landing those jobs. Good morning, Nick.
Good morning, Mike. Well, going from full-time student to working full-time can be a difficult transition. Undergrads spend 4 painstaking years in the classroom, countless hours in the library, and borrow tens of thousands of dollars, all for the same reason: to get a good job after graduation. But for many recent grads, that plan didn't work. David Bauer Ray went from being a student to an unfortunate statistic.
I paid, significant money to, go to school, get my degree, and was expecting a job out of it. This is why I kind of went to college, and it's what everyone tells you to do.
He's part of the 53% of 2011 college grads still without a job.
I was wondering if I could maybe throw my resume, give you guys my resume.
David graduated from the University of Colorado in December with a degree in advertising and humanities. We caught up with him at a CU job fair. He says he went to class, got good grades, but still no job.
It's a little frustrating because, I thought I did pretty well in school. They don't really want to pay me right now. A lot of internships, a lot of unpaid work, things like that.
According to a 2011 population survey by Northeastern University, the Mountain West region was most likely to have young college graduates jobless or underemployed, roughly 3 in 5. Many are faced with a difficult decision: take an unpaid internship or take a job just to pay the bills.
It's kind of ridiculous. Even McDonald's, which you don't need a degree for, will pay you, to work for them.
And you don't want to work at McDonald's?
No, I don't. I didn't go to school to work at McDonald's.
Well, I think sometimes when a person is in school, you figure, boy, I'm almost at the end here, and I really like to finally get a position that I'm going to be paid for. But sometimes the job market will just not afford that.
Don Strankowski is a career coach who says when companies aren't hiring, internships can be just as beneficial as a paying job.
There's something to be said for taking a position, getting the experience, learning the skills, and then parlaying that into a paid position down the road.
But some majors are at a disadvantage from the start. Government data shows arts and humanities are struggling while there's strong demand for science and health degrees. Strankowski says whatever the major, students need to balance their class schedules with useful electives.
Number one, to make yourself more appealing post-graduation, take the classes that are going to be relevant to the type of position you're going to be pursuing.
Good advice, but for students like David Bauer Ray, the looming debt from student loans could force him to take whatever job he can get so he can pay for an education he might never use. How much longer can you hold out?
I'd imagine about a month, yeah. And then after that, I'm just going to have to, work for the first person who just wants to pay me. Appreciate it.
There is some good news for this year's grads. A new report by the National Association of Colleges and Employers shows companies plan to hire 10% more graduates than last year, and median starting salaries are also up roughly 5%. Joining us now for some additional tips for college grads, we welcome back career expert Don Strankowski. Don, we heard at the beginning of that story there, more than half of college grads are either underemployed or unemployed still from that 2011 class. What can they do to get a job, to make themselves more appealing?
It is going to be a better year this year, Nick, for college graduates. Employers are going to be hiring more actually this year than in the past 4. But still, it's a very, very competitive job market, especially for people with limited experience. So for recent graduates, number one is actually focus. Do some research, conduct some research on entry-level positions per the type of industry that you'll be targeting, and even specific companies. So employing a focused approach rather than casting a wide net and just seeing what bites is one way to do it. Now, this also carries into the resume. So when graduates are applying for positions, and I know this sounds tedious, but they need to customize their resume and cover letter for each specific position they are applying for.
And one thing that's popular among college grads, Facebook, social networking, they can use that too, right?
Yes, as a matter of fact, networking will definitely garner some solid results. So one-on-one networking meetings, getting out and really putting the word out to your networking contacts even before graduation. And once again, be specific regarding the type of job that you're pursuing. Also, most college graduates have some pretty strong social media skills. So putting the word out on Facebook, Twitter, and if they don't have a LinkedIn account, definitely set one up. And don't forget about group networking. There are meetup.com groups and certain industry and professional associations that they can get involved with. Networking is still the #1 job search technique.
Social media is so big now. What about some staffing agencies they could take advantage of.
You know, staffing agencies are a great way to learn real-world skills. And even if the staffing agencies don't focus specifically in their major type, it's still a great way to network and be privy perhaps to openings within a particular organization. It's a great way to be visible, and it's a recent entry on their resume.
And as we said in the story there, you said rather, don't be afraid to take that internship.
Don't be afraid to take that internship. As a matter of fact, in another study, college graduates that took a paid internship had a very, very high likelihood of being hired for that particular organization. It allows an organization to try before you buy, and also for the graduate, too. May not be what they're looking for either.
Dawn Strankowski, thank you so much. Great advice as always.